Well, hello and welcome to another video in the Quantum Trading Indicator series. And in this one, I'm delighted to announce that we have launched all the indicators now available for the Market Analyzer application on NinjaTrader 8. And hence the reason for recording this video, to show you them in action, to show you how to create the Market Analyzer, to install them, and really get going with them on the NinjaTrader 8 platform. Now, if you're not familiar with Market Analyzer, as I say, it's a free application which comes on your control panel. And I have to say, when you first load it, it's not terribly exciting looking. If we click on the new here and just select the Market Analyzer, which you find in the drop down, there we go. That is your bare Market Analyzer. And as I said, it doesn't look terribly inviting or indeed exciting. But fear not, we have a way of sorting that. We just drop that out the way. Let's get rid of the control panel. Because you can tailor it, and that's precisely what I've done here, which is to create 4 versions of the Market Analyzer, all showing different versions of the quantum tools. I'll show you how to apply them, and I'll also run through the basics of really making the Market Analyzer look a little bit prettier than the bare one that I showed you just now. The first thing I think to show you before anything else is a neat feature up here which everyone misses. If I right click on that, it shows duplicate window, and that is a huge invaluable time saver, I can assure you. Once you've spent time creating your list in your Market Analyzer and creating the levels that you want to break it up, and the colors and everything else to make it look pretty and to your own personal taste, I can assure you, once you've done all that, it's a real time saver to click on that, to just simply duplicate it, and you get 3, 4, or however many versions you want. Now, I've set these up on one workspace purely because I wanted to show you on one screen. But what, of course, you can use with NinjaTrader 8 is to use the tabs down here. So you could equally well, on your own trading platforms, just create them in various tabs along here and then click on them. So this, I just happen to have laid this out in this way because I think it looks good on screen and it gives you a good representation of the indicators in action as well. We're in live market and we've got about an hour and a quarter to run to the end of the US session. In terms of making the analyzer look a little bit more attractive, if we right click on the Market Analyzer itself, and really there are 2 places we need to go. One is columns, which I'll come on to in a moment. The second is properties. If we click on properties, this is where you'll find the basics of changing your text here. You can do various settings here. You can decide on your text alignment for your label rows, which are the ones which you see on the left. There are stocks, futures, and ETFs. And you can also change the colors of your grid, the foreground, the background, lines. You can change the colors of your label rows, as I've done here. I've got light steel blue and black. When it says label row foreground, what that refers to is the text, of course. I don't quite know why they call it foreground, but there we go. Such is life. And you've got various other options here as well. So that's the basic access. And of course, you can also change your tab name here. Now, changing your tab name is quite important, and I'll explain why. I haven't done it here. I've just left it at the basics. So it's just picked up Market Analyzer. And the reason I say this is because the default setting, the default time setting for the Market Analyzer is 1 minute. Everything is set to 1 minute. When you first load it, you'll find everything is defaulted to 1 minute. Now, of course, you will want to run almost certainly multiple time versions, so you want to have different time versions. And the way to highlight them and remember which is which is to do that through the tab name. So if you call it something like MA 1 minute or 1M, whatever, and then the next one perhaps is a 3 minute, so it's 3M, 5M, so on and so forth. So that is the way to do it, through the tab name there, and that will help you remember what the time frame was. Because, ironic as it sounds, there is no other way of telling what time frame. NinjaTrader don't give you a time frame, at least not as far as I'm aware. I've never found one. Perhaps if there is one, perhaps someone could let me know. But as far as I know, there is no obvious time frame setting on the market analyzer. It doesn't appear in a column. For example, on things like TradeStation, you can see it instantly. You just click on the column and you change the time frames there, and you have individuals there as well. But here, that's not the case. So I wanted to explain that from the off, so that in case you're looking at this and wondering where my time frame setting is, well, it doesn't appear. It's automatically defaulted behind the market analyzer. So just remember on the tab down here, just make them up according to some nomenclature you remember, so that you know which time frame is on which particular market analyzer. So that's the color settings, fonts, and all that sort of good stuff. If we then right click again and we go to columns, this is where you will find all the data that can then be applied to the columns themselves. Instrument is a default setting. I think that always comes as standard, and generally it comes with ask price, bid price, and something else, so you can change those accordingly. But if I show you these first, up and down here, these are all the standard options that come with NinjaTrader already defaulted, so you can choose any of those you wish. Something quite helpful: low 52 weeks. These are things that historic volatility. You've got earnings per share, you've got dividend stuff there, description, you've got days until rollover for futures contracts. You've also got daily volume, which I've put on one or two of these, and also the average volume as well. So you've got quite a lot of good stuff here. Open interest, you've got short interest down the bottom here somewhere, I think. Yeah, short interest ratio, etc., etc. So there's lots of good stuff in there. So you can build these analyzers in whichever way you wish. For us as Quantum, this is where the quantum indicators sit. So they're all in line astern here, all the ones that we've developed for the market analyzer. And in the same way that you apply an indicator to a regular NinjaTrader chart, you do it in precisely the same way here. So you can see on this particular market analyzer, I've clicked on a trend monitor, and I've got the trends. And I've just got, I've got two ask prices, but anyway, I've got the ask price over here, as you can see. And removing them, you just add them. You just click on one. If I wanted to add that one, you just click on it, or you just remove them if you wanted to remove one and replace it. So it's very, very easy to access the quantum indicators there in that little folder which appears at the top. We just close that down. There we go. And as I say, I've created 4 workspaces here, or 4 market analyzers rather, in one workspace. And I think they show very nicely how the indicators really give you a straight up view, very quick view. Remember, this is on 1 minute, so we're always looking at 1 minute here, but of course you would want to have different time frames. But they give you an instant view without a lot of searching around, without a lot of searching out of workspaces, multiple charts, and everything else. Over on the instrument side, there are quick ways to create instrument lists. You can add instruments by the default lists that come as standard. So you can scroll down here, you can add the Dow 30, you can obviously go to currencies, you've got futures here, and you've also got the S&P 500 down at the bottom here, which is all 500. So there are standard lists that are already created for you, or you can create your own instrument list in the usual way and bring them in accordingly. So I just wanted to highlight that before we move on. So this is what I've created. These are typically the sort of things that we would use. In the first one, I've kept this very simple. I've got the trend monitor and I've got the trends indicator working together. And as you can see, we've got a handful of stocks here. We've got a handful of futures and a handful of ETFs. And just to show you that the indicators work irrespective of what the instrument is. And the reason I like this particular setup is because it really shows you very clearly, and you can imagine this on multiple time frames. You haven't got to search around across multiple charts to see what's going on across your 135. This tells you instantly what is going on, and the market is fairly bullish at the moment. Remember, this is only on a 1 minute time frame, but everything is in strong uptrend. In other words, we're in bright blue on our trend monitor, and our trend dots are a sort of sea green. You've only got three here. You've got one neutral, and of course bearish is red. I think it's red or brick red on here, I'm not quite sure. You can of course change all these settings. You just go into the indicator itself, you go into the column, and if you go into click on the indicator that you want to update, there we go. So bullish is dark turquoise, and the neutral is grey, and the other is bearish is maroon. So as I say, you can change all these colors. There we are. That's on the trend monitor. So we've got the strong downtrends, weak downtrends, and the strong uptrends there as well. So that's how you go in and amend them. But you can see how intuitive this is and very quick to grasp instantly what is going on. And without even needing to look at particular charts, clearly, and bear in mind this are the very fast time frames, these primary stocks, these big, the big 7, big 10, whatever you want to call them, we're in strong uptrend at the moment on the 1 minute time frame, and that's confirmed with the bullish sentiment of quantum trend dots as well. So the quantum trends, the quantum trend monitor, are really reinforcing one another on those time frames. So those are two indicators which really, they are sister indicators anyway, and work extremely well together in the market analyzer in this way. And I've got the ask price over on the right hand side here as well, just for completeness. On the next one, I've got the VRSI set up, and I've got the volatility set up here as well. We start with the VRSI. Again, if you've watched the videos on this new indicator, the volume relative strength indicator, you'll know that darker colors represent very bullish or very bearish sentiment. Weaker colors represent a weaker sentiment, either bullish or bearish. And you can see we've got some very mildly bearish sentiment here on the XLU. Slight change there for GLD. Otherwise, we're seeing fairly positive color across here. Again, bear in mind this is only on the 1 minute, but really reinforcing what we're seeing over here on the trend monitor and the trends as well. The volatility is another great indicator to have on the market analyzer, because it gives you an instant heads up as to a volatility trigger in that particular time frame. So you can see, just scanning down here, what will happen when we see one of these. It will light up purple or magenta, and it will stay there for around about 2 or 3 minutes, really giving you a very strong signal to pay attention if that's something you're interested in, if you're looking for opportunities around volatility, if you're looking for maybe congestion phases, reversals, you want to trade those reversals when they come in. So you want to be aware of when volatility has been triggered, or when the indicator has been triggered for that particular stock, future, ETF, whatever it is. And this tells you straight away, it will flash up instantly. You've got a volatility trigger alert, and away you go. And you can see here, it tells you how many bars ago we had 9 on GE, 12 bars ago on Caterpillar, and 12 on Meta. And of course, it's an opportunity, or it may be an opportunity for you to close out if you don't want volatility. If you've maybe got a position in the market and you want to know when volatility is coming in to give you a signal to get out, then absolutely use it in the reverse way as well. So this is a great indicator to have up here too. We move down to the bottom rank here on and I've got 2 here. We'll just pull this over a little bit. There we go, a little bit more. There we go. I've got the accumulation distribution here. And what this describes is the various levels of support and resistance up and down the charts. So you can start to highlight where you've got important levels, strong levels. We've got a level of 6 here, for example, on the SPY, which would be very significant. And again, you would use it in that way. It gives you all that information. We've got on Walmart here, you can see we've got one which is 8, very strong indeed. So it brings all this information into one workspace very clearly and very cleanly, and delivers it in a very intuitive way and a very simple way, so that you can assess a lot of data very quickly without having to move around a lot of charts. You can see how things are changing up here. We've got quite a lot of flashing going on here. We've got some, and remember, just to remind you, this is 1 minute. So you can see how quickly we're changing the trends here. We've gone from neutral, now we've gone to bearish here. We've got some weak downtrend developing here over in these stocks. Others are still in strong uptrend, but it seems as though we've got a short-term weakness appearing because we've gone to a darker blue here, not in strong downtrend at the moment, but that may follow. And that's also reinforced over here. We've got darker colors taking hold. And just as I'm talking, thank you very much, Caterpillar, there we go. We get a trigger of dynamic volatility. So clearly something has perhaps happened in the market. Maybe there's some news come out. This is very late in the session. It's just gone 8 o'clock UK time. So we're not in prime news time here, but maybe something's happened, something's occurred, someone said something, who knows. But there we are. So you will go straight off to the Caterpillar chart, and without even looking, you would know that there has been a volatility trigger 2 minutes ago now. So 2 bars ago, you would find your volatility bar, and you would go and assess that for potential opportunities or whatever they may be. But I think this really gives you a flavor of how things develop and how you can spot things very quickly and take advantage of them accordingly. But you do need to do this in multiple time frames. As I say, we are using 1 here, but you would need to do it in at least 2 or 3 to give you that flavor of what is going on across the time horizon that you're trading. Where were we? There we are. The accumulation distributions, as I say, lots of nice examples down there of strong ones and less strong. Pivots works in a similar sort of way in terms of delivery as volatility, because what will happen is you can see here 3 bars ago we had a pivot. Now it's 4 bars ago, and this one highlights yellow. But again, you can scroll up and down, you can eyeball it there. You can see it tells you how many bars ago the pivot came in on those particular charts. Finally, over to our 4th one here, and I've got the VWAP here, and I've got the VPOC. And if you've watched the videos on the VWAP, then you'll know all about that and how it relates to whatever it is you're trading the stock. We've got the variance of it. We've got 5 variants of the VWAP, extremely important indicator. And it tells you the price that the VWAP is sitting. So you can relate the VWAP that is being delivered off the indicator here against the ask price over here. So you can tell immediately, where is my VWAP in relation to the ask price at the moment? And of course, you can have ask and bid on here as well. But I've just put ask price on for clarity. So you get an immediate relationship between where is my VWAP in relation to the price of the stock or ETF future, whatever it is you're trading. Extremely important. But again, giving you a lot of data, a lot of information without a lot of searching around on the charts. Tells you instantly the relationship between the two. Finally, onto the VPOC here. And again, precisely the same sort of approach. It'll tell you where the VPOC is sitting on the chart. So again, you can tie it back to, well, where is the stock price, or where is the future price, whatever it may be, or where is the ETF price, and how does that relate to my volume point of control, which is a key level, the fulcrum of volume price action on the chart, whatever that time frame may be. So I think I've walked you through the basics there. We're very excited that we now have this available. It's you create these as you want. Very simple to set up. Perhaps the most time consuming is creating something that really looks attractive. As I say, the starting point is very unassuming and not terribly encouraging, but don't be put off by that. You can make them look nice like this and really create something that presents the data in a really nice way for you to take advantage of it. And as I say, in adding the indicators is very straightforward. My advice and suggestion, for what it's worth, is try and not to overload each market analyzer by overloading, I mean in terms of adding the number of indicators. And also, you do need to be aware that the greater the number of stocks, if you try and overload the number of stocks themselves, then you will cause issues on your PC perhaps. So Please be aware of that, bear it in mind. And it's, as I say, personally, I like to have this set up in particular ways where I'm looking at groups of indicators and not put them all on one. You could do, I guess, but I prefer to do them in this way. I prefer to have the trend monitor with the trends because they are sister indicators and work beautifully together. The trends is working very close to the market. The trend monitor takes a much more longer term view of the price action. So the two work perfectly together. The VRSI, you've got to have that with, I use that with the volatility as well because I like to see the volatility as it's triggered. Down at the bottom here, again, these two, pivots and accumulation distribution, again, two very complementary indicators. And finally, we have the VWAP and the VPOC together on the last workspace. So there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this particular video. I will do more on these, and I'll also be covering the currency indicators as well and looking at those in more detail too. So this was very much about stocks, ETFs, and futures and how to set that up. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Lots more videos to come as always. See you soon, and bye for now.